Stop scrolling right now, because the coin sitting in your pocket could secretly be worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars, and most people have no idea what they are holding. Today, we are diving into the most wanted Lincoln penny coins in American history. Coins that collectors hunt for every single day. Coins that have turned ordinary people into unexpected winners. Imagine finding a single penny that could pay your rent, cover your bills, or even change your life. Sounds crazy, but it is 100% real. Let me show you what to look for. First, the legendary 1943 copper penny during World War II. Pennies were supposed to be made from steel, but a few were accidentally struck in copper. These rare mistakes are now worth up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you find one, you are holding one of the rarest coins ever made. Stop scrolling and listen carefully, because today we are diving into one of the most talked about coins in American history, the 1984 Abraham Lincoln penny, and why some of these small copper coins could be worth serious money. And yes, this is real, and collectors around the world are hunting for these coins right now. Welcome back to your channel, where we uncover hidden treasure in everyday pocket. Change today, we focus on the famous 1984 penny, featuring Abraham Lincoln, a coin that millions of people have seen, but very few truly understand the hidden value inside. Now you might be thinking, how can a simple 1-cent coin from 1984 be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? The answer is simple: rare errors, condition, and collector demand. These three factors can turn an ordinary coin into a life-changing discovery. Let us start with the basics. The 1984 Lincoln penny was produced in massive numbers at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. So yes, most of them are only worth 1 cent. But here is where things get exciting. There are rare varieties and errors that can make this coin extremely valuable. One of the most famous and valuable types is the 1984 doubled ear penny. This is the coin that every collector dreams of finding. The error appears on the ear of Abraham Lincoln, where you can clearly see doubling. This is not damage. This is a real mint error created during the coin striking process. If you find a strong doubled ear on your 1984 penny, you could be holding a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the condition. Coins in mint state condition, meaning they look almost brand new, can sell for very high prices at auctions. Imagine checking your pocket change and discovering a coin that could pay your bills. This is why collectors always say, never ignore pennies, because treasures are often hidden in plain sight. Now let us talk about condition, because condition is everything in coin collecting. A worn-out 1984 penny with an error might still have value, but a sharp, clean, bright red coin with no scratches can multiply that value. Many times over, collectors use grading systems to determine condition, and higher grades mean higher prices. Another important factor is mint mark. Some 1984 pennies have a small D mark, which means they were made in Denver, while others have no mint mark, meaning Philadelphia coins. Both types can have value, but error coins are what truly stand out. There are also off-center strikes where the coin design is not properly aligned. These coins look unusual and collectors love them. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Some 1984 pennies were also struck on the wrong planche, meaning the metal disc used was incorrect. This is extremely rare, but if found, it can be worth a significant amount of money. Now here is the exciting part. Many of these valuable coins are still in circulation today. That means they could be sitting in your jar, your wallet, or even lying forgotten in a drawer. People often overlook pennies because they seem too common, but serious collectors know that every coin has a story. And sometimes that story includes a rare mistake that makes it incredibly valuable. Let me give you a real scenario. A collector once found a 1984 doubled ear penny in circulation and sold it for over $1,000. This is not a fantasy. This is real life, and it continues to happen. So how do you check your coins? First, grab a magnifying glass or use your phone camera. Zoom in closely on Lincoln ear. Look for clear doubling. Not scratches, not damage, but actual duplication of the design. Next, check the overall condition. Is the coin shiny? Is it clean? Are the details sharp? If yes, then you might have something special. Also keep an eye on color. Pennies come in different shades. Brown red, brown and full red. Coins with full red color are the most valuable because they have been preserved well over time. Another tip is to store your coins properly. If you believe you have a valuable coin, do not clean it. Cleaning can actually reduce its value. Instead, place it in a protective holder and keep it safe. Collectors and dealers are always searching for rare coins, and online marketplaces and coin shows are full of buyers ready to pay top dollar for the right piece. The 1984 penny might seem small, but it carries big potential, and this is why it has become one of the most talked about coins among collectors in recent years. Now let us go deeper into why errors happen during the minting process. Coins are made using dies that stamp the design onto metal blanks. Sometimes these dies shift or get misaligned, which creates doubling or other unusual features. These mistakes are rare, and that rarity drives value. The doubled ear error in 1984 is a perfect example of how a small detail can make a huge difference to a trained eye. It stands out immediately, and collectors recognize it instantly. Another thing to remember is demand. The more collectors want a specific coin, the higher the price goes, and the 1984 doubled ear penny has strong demand because it is well known and easy to identify compared to other errors. If you are new to coin collecting, this is a great coin to start with because it teaches you how to look for details and understand value. Start checking your coins regularly. Make it a habit every time you receive change. Take a moment to inspect your pennies. You never know when luck might strike. Some collectors even search through bank rolls of pennies looking for rare finds. This method has helped many people discover valuable coins without spending much money. It is like a treasure hunt where the reward could be life-changing. And let us not forget the historical connection. Every Lincoln penny represents a piece of American history, connecting you to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the evolution of U.S. currency. This emotional and historical value also adds to the appeal for collectors, making these coins even more desirable. Now imagine building your own collection, starting with a simple 1984 penny and growing it into a valuable set over time. This hobby is not just about money. It is about discovery, learning, and excitement. Stop scrolling and listen carefully because one simple coin from your pocket could change your life forever today. We are talking about the legendary 1964 Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary but hides extraordinary value and history. Welcome back to your channel, American Rare Coin Vault, where we uncover hidden treasures in everyday change and show you how collectors turn cents into thousands, and sometimes even more. Let us begin with the story behind the Lincoln cent, one of the most iconic coins in United States history. First introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, this penny became the first American coin to feature a real person, and not just a symbolic figure. Since then, it has passed through millions of hands, becoming a part of daily life. But not all pennies are equal, especially the mysterious and highly sought-after 1964 versions. Now here is where things get exciting. Most people think the 1964 penny is common and worthless. But collectors know that certain rare variations, errors, and unique conditions can turn this simple coin into a small fortune. Some of these coins have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition, rarity, and minting mistakes. First, we talk about condition, because condition is everything in coin. Collecting a 1964 Lincoln penny in circulated condition might only be worth a few cents, but if you find one in uncirculated mint state condition with full red color, it can jump significantly in value. Coins graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services are highly desirable and can bring serious money in auctions. Now let us dive into rare errors, because this is where real treasure hides error coins are. Created when something goes wrong during the minting process, and collectors absolutely love them. One of the most famous is the doubled die error, where the design appears slightly doubled, especially in the lettering and date. If you find a 1964 penny with clear doubling, you might be holding a coin worth hundreds or more. Another valuable error is the off-center strike, where the coin design is not properly aligned. These coins look unusual, and the more off-center they are, the more valuable they become, especially if the date is still visible. Then we have clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a cutting error. These odd-shaped coins attract collectors and can be worth a surprising amount depending on how dramatic the clip is. There are also die cracks and cuds, which appear as raised lines or blobs on the coin surface. These are signs of worn or damaged dies, and collectors often pay premium prices for bold and unique examples. Now here comes a hidden secret that many people overlook. Some 1964 pennies were struck on experimental or wrong planchets. Although extremely rare, these coins can be worth thousands. Imagine finding a penny that was accidentally struck on a different metal. This is the kind of discovery that turns an ordinary day into a life-changing moment. Mint marks also matter. Even though most 1964 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, without a mint mark, coins from other mints or unusual strikes can carry additional value. Always check closely under the date for any signs of a mint mark or irregularity. Another key factor is color collectors. Classify copper pennies into 3 categories: brown, brown, and full red. Full red coins are the most valuable because they retain their original mint luster. A bright, shiny 1964 penny can be worth many times more than a dull brown one, even if both are technically uncirculated. Now let us talk about grading, because grading determines the market value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. And the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Professional grading companies authenticate and encapsulate coins, giving buyers confidence. If you believe you have a rare 1964 penny, it might be worth submitting for grading. You might be wondering, how much are these coins really worth? Here are some realistic ranges. A typical circulated 1964 penny is worth 1 to 10 cents. An uncirculated red example can range from $5 to $50. High-grade specimens, MS-66 and above, can reach hundreds, and rare era coins can exceed $1,000 or more, depending on rarity and demand. Now let me share a collector story. One lucky collector found a 1964 penny with a strong ranges. A typical circulated 1964 penny is worth 1 to 10 cents. An uncirculated red example can range from $5 to $50. High-grade specimens, MS-66 and above, can reach hundreds, and rare era coins can exceed $1,000 or more, depending on rarity and demand. Now let me share a collector story. One lucky collector found a 1964 penny with a strong doubled die while searching through a jar of old coins. After having it graded and authenticated, the coin sold for over $800, proving once again that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. So how can you find these valuable coins? Start by checking your pocket change coin jars. Old collections from family members and even bank rolls use a magnifying glass. Or coin loop to inspect details. Look carefully at the date lettering. And overall surface, do not clean your coins, because cleaning can reduce their value significantly. Collectors prefer coins in original condition, even if they look dirty. Storage is also important. Keep valuable coins in protective holders away from moisture and extreme temperatures. This helps preserve their condition and value over time. The 1964 Abraham Lincoln penny represents more than just money. It is a piece of American history, a reminder of a time when coins were made with care and craftsmanship, and a symbol of how something small can hold great value. Before you ignore that penny in your pocket, take a second look, because it might not be just a coin. It could be an opportunity. One of the most overlooked factors is luster. Original mint. Luster is that natural shine you see when light moves across the surface of a coin. It is not just brightness. It is a flowing cartwheel effect that tells you the coin has not been heavily circulated or cleaned. Many beginners confuse shine with cleaning, but experienced collectors know the difference. Original luster looks alive, while cleaned coins look flat and unnatural. And this difference can mean the gap between a $5 coin and a $500 coin. Another important detail is strike quality. Not all coins are struck equally, even in the same year. Some 1964 pennies have sharper details, especially in the hair of Abraham Lincoln and the wheat ears on the reverse. If you find a sharply struck example with full detail, it becomes much more desirable to collectors because it represents the coin exactly as it was intended to look. One fascinating variety that collectors search for is repunched mint marks. even though most 1964 pennies do not carry a visible mint mark. There are rare cases in earlier years, and similar series where mint marks were punched multiple times, creating a shadow-like effect. Collectors often study 1964 coins alongside these varieties to train their eyes, because spotting small differences is a skill that grows over time. What if I told you a simple penny in your pocket could be worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars? And today, we are talking about one of the most mysterious coins ever mentioned by collectors, a 1979 Abraham Lincoln penny. Now here is where things get interesting, because this coin should not even exist. Welcome back to the channel American Rare Coin Vault, where we uncover hidden treasures in everyday pocket change and turn ordinary coins into extraordinary stories. Imagine finding a coin that breaks the rules of history, a coin that was never supposed to be made, a coin that collectors dream about. That is exactly why the so-called 1979 Lincoln penny has become one of the most talked about mystery coins in American collecting circles. Let us go back in time. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor one of the greatest presidents in U.S. history, Abraham Lincoln. For decades, this coin became part of everyday life. Millions and millions were made every single year. But not every coin is the same. Some coins carry secrets, some coins carry mistakes, and those mistakes can turn into massive value. Now let us talk about 1979. In that year, the United States Mint was focused on producing the Susan B. Anthony dollar, not changing the penny design. So any penny showing 1979 with a Lincoln design raises a huge question. Is it real? Is it altered? Or is it one of the rare mint errors that slipped through the system? Collectors have reported coins that appear to show 1979 on a Lincoln cent, but most of these fall into three powerful categories. First, altered coins. These are coins where the date has been changed manually, sometimes from 1973 or 1978 into something that looks like 1979. These are usually not valuable, but they teach an important lesson. Always verify your coins. Second off, metal strikes. This is where things get exciting. Sometimes a coin is struck on the wrong metal planche. Imagine a Lincoln penny design appearing on a blank meant for another coin. These errors are rare, and when verified, they can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Third, mule errors. This is the dream scenario. A mule coin is when two different coin designs are accidentally combined. If a genuine 1979 dated penny with Lincoln design were ever confirmed as a true mint mule error, it could become one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. We are talking about life-changing money. Thousands, maybe even tens of thousands, depending on condition and authentication. Now here is the good news for collectors. You do not need to be rich to start. You do not need expensive equipment. All you need is curiosity, patience, and a sharp eye. Start checking your coins. Look at the dates closely. Look at the edges. Look for anything unusual. Because hidden treasures are still out there. Even today, people are still finding valuable coins in circulation. Coins worth far more than their face value. And sometimes the rarest coins are the ones nobody expects. That is what makes coin collecting so exciting. It is a real-life treasure hunt. Now let us talk about condition. Condition is everything. A coin in mint state with no scratches, no wear, and strong detail can be worth many times more than the same coin in poor condition. Collectors use grading systems to determine value. Higher grade means higher price. So if you ever think you found something unusual, do not clean the coin. Do not damage it. Keep it safe and get it checked by professionals. Because one small mistake can reduce the value dramatically. Now imagine this. You are going through your old coins, maybe coins from your parents or grandparents, and suddenly you spot something strange. A date that does not match history. A design that looks off. That moment right there could change everything. That is the power of rare coins, and that is why stories like the mysterious 1979 Lincoln penny continue to spread across the collecting world. Even if most examples turn out to be altered coins, the possibility of a real undiscovered error keeps collectors searching. And all it takes is one discovery. One verified coin. To make history. So next time you see a penny, do not ignore it. Do not spend it without checking, because you might be holding something far more valuable than you think. This is not just about coins. This is about opportunity. This is about curiosity. This is about turning small things into big rewards. Now, let us go even deeper into the mystery, because this is where collectors separate themselves from beginners. Most people look at a coin and only see its face value, but real collectors look for hidden signals, tiny details that most people ignore. Weight, color, sound, edge, and most importantly, the story behind the coin. When it comes to the Lincoln cent, every year has its own identity. And even though 1979 is not a standard year for this coin, that does not stop the market from getting excited. Because sometimes the most valuable coins are the ones that should not exist. Let me tell you something powerful. In the world of coin collecting, rarity creates demand, and mystery creates hype. When both come together, the value can explode. Now imagine a collector somewhere in America claims to have found a 1979 Lincoln penny. At first, nobody believes it. Experts say impossible. Dealers say fake. But then the coin gets tested. It gets weighed. It gets examined under magnification. It gets compared with known mint errors. And suddenly, the conversation changes. Because if even one example passes authentication, it becomes a legend. This is exactly how some of the most famous coins in history started. Unknown, doubted, ignored, and then suddenly worth thousands. Take a moment and think about that. Every famous rare coin was once just another coin, until someone noticed something different. Now here is something you need to understand if you want your audience to stay hooked. People love the idea of hidden treasure. And coins are one of the few real-life treasures that still exist in everyday circulation. No metal detector needed. No deep digging required. Just your eyes and attention. Now let us talk about error types in more detail, because this is where real money is made. Off-center strikes. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during minting. Part of the design is missing, and part is stretched. These coins can sell for hundreds, depending on how dramatic the error is.